You are the world. You are the universe realizing itself. You have to you have to unlearn to relearn what you are. It all starts with inner work. So, you think of the way the pyramids are set up, ancient sacred geometry. Think the way the sinus is right there, and the two holes connect right there at the center point, right where your third eye would be. Through breathing techniques, you activate it. It's the same as how molecules take positive and negative to attract and combine with others. It's the same way as you balancing yourself and realizing no separation between you and the universe. Once you do that, that is when you start to reenact with yourself. The universe will start to interact with you the way it is meant to interact with itself. But the goal is to make it so amazing or complicated that you forget that you are the creator. God's often embodied different beings or objects throughout the Bible to present themselves to the prophets. Do you understand all that? Jesus spent 18 years studying with a monk before he was 33 and ended up actually becoming what the prophecy foretold. Why isn't there anything about Israelites coming out of a forest in any of the Egypt history books or anything like that? Egypt, one of the most well documented of history, has nothing about, because the Pharaoh's in here, it's inside. Moses and crossing the Red Seas. There's nothing about chariots penetrating through the Red Seas or their tires getting stuck in the wet mud while traveling through the part. Because it's in here. It's the Red Sea of emotion that when you're doing your breathing techniques, is right as you're starting to break that sense, your fears and your doubts and all of your emotions sink in and overflow and overwhelm through your stillness and through your faith. You will part those Red Seas and there will be a narrow where you shoot through, and the veil, the temple, inside the temple of Solomon, the veil becomes lifted once you stop separating yourself from everything else around you. And faith becomes knowing. May 7th going into 8th. The time is 11:57, 2025. I'm making my declaration to myself. This is my affirmation. This is my future self talking to me. There is so much more just around the corner. It will not be long. All your patience and all this time, all of your work that you've been doing on yourself, which, by the way, I am very proud of you, but it's not for naught. Just be patient, keep having faith, and remember, one day you will look back on this, and this will be one of the moments that you talk about. Others need this story. I need you to. Remember to come back and listen to this at least twice a day until you feel it's no longer necessary. I love you. I have faith in you. You are already past the hardest part. There will be challenges, but you will continue to grow with them. Enjoy the ride. it's kind of funny when you consider God and frequencies in its perspective of being at a fork in the road. Well, I am attuned to my fork, so it's pretty straightforward, just like a fork for tuning. And since basically everything physical is all empty space around us, like the walls and everything around me are empty space, is it fair to say that I could see through these empty spaces with a different awareness or a different mindset, perspective? You see, recognizing your fear is understanding that your fear is normal and valid. Accept your fear. Look at your fear in the eye. Understand it. Avoid denying or suppressing it. That can worsen the situation. Much like avoiding a hard conversation or a small lie that becomes something big. Identify the source of the fear. Reflect on your fear. Try to understand the root cause of that fear. Identify the triggers. Be aware of situations, people, or objects that trigger those fears. Challenge negative thoughts. Reframe the negative thoughts. You can replace them with positive, realistic ones. Affirmations. The same way that what you've been taught now was through repetition. It will take repetition to unlearn and relearn these new things that you want to integrate. And you can't tell me it's impossible because somehow you got set on this mindset that you're at. How many of the thoughts that you have are actually based off of your genuine self and desire? Practice relaxation techniques. You can do awareness, focus awareness on deep breathing, focus on slow, deep breaths to calm your mind and body. Progressive muscle relaxation. Release the body's physical tension. Different muscle groups. Visualization. Imagine yourself in a safe, relaxing environment. Develop problem-solving skills. Identify solutions. Brainstorm potential solutions to the problems and the situations that cause the fear. Evaluate options. Weigh the pros and the cons. Progress and consequence. Take action. Implement the best solution. I'm a kid adding lessons. At least I learned from adolescence. All the advocates that just wanted possessions. But no, Carnage, his heart was like a concession. Constantine, I need confessions. And pitted against epitome to collide with anonymity to alchemize my in-house amity and empathy. Yes, I'll never be more till I seek more, sink in deeper, in best a bottom hits, but at least I see the seafloor. Reef soar cuts deep, these chords, vocal, professional, confessional, professor, yet I feel an Igor. Yes, I'm more than just kindred to burnt calories, crunching shells, a carcass, sell a peanut to the gallery, vision of a man, but the inner is a galaxy, heart a black hole, hard to swallow, acts of agony, ask for an axe, as I'm cutting down my cherry tree, once above as so arose, through seasons changed, where they mulberry me. in a shadow realm. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to read y'all a study guide off of some of my courses that I'm preparing. The study guide explores the intersection of ancient holistic healing practices and modern personal struggle through the lens of me, my spoken word freestyles, my expressions. The guide is divided into three main parts: ancient holistic healing, carnage, one and only perspectives, and the interconnectedness of the one and all in the community vision. Okay, so ancient holistic healing. Holistic connection. Ancient healing practices emphasized the interconnectedness of a body, mind, spirit, and nature. Original healing science, alternative medicine was considered the original sacred healing science, focusing on restoration and balance, duality. Illness and disharmony was viewed as a fundamental imbalance or disharmony between the physical and the divine. Spiritual and natural elements, spiritual beliefs, and natural elements played a significant role in historical healing practices. Cosmological understanding ancient healers had of health, it was integrating their understanding of the universe into their views. Carnage One and Only's perspectives. Carnage One and Only views bullies as a reflection of inner pain and advocates for empathy and understanding to both sides of that mirror. Dysfunctional relationships. He expresses frustration with individuals who repeatedly enter unhealthy relationships and seek support without taking responsibility. Betrayal and hurt. Carnage One and Only shares his experiences of betrayal and hurt in relationships, particularly with family and loved ones. Desire for connectedness. Despite negative experiences, he desires genuine connection and is willing to help others. Forgiveness and moving on. He emphasizes the importance of forgiveness and stepping away for personal well being and the benefit of the underlying bond and the roots that were originally planted underneath. Interconnections and community vision. So, the contrast with modern medicine. Ancient holistic healing is contrasted with modern medicine healing, highlighted with the focus of restoration and balance. And Carnage One and Only's themes of struggle, inner balance, and connection align with the ancient holistic principles. Influence on a community vision. His personal struggle and growth inform his vision for community support, emphasizing empathy, authenticity, and resilience. Creative expression as healing. His use of spoken word and freestyles relates to his ancient understanding of healing as a holistic endeavor. The key terms would be holistic, treatment of the whole person as a whole, the one in L, considering mental, social, and spiritual factors, disharmony, the lack of balance or agreement, often referring to an imbalance with the individual or between individual and nature, and the cosmological, relating to the understanding of the universe as a structure. They said I was chosen. I dwelled and delved in the depths of the ocean. Tempers played Texas and Hold'em in solitary, confolded, handsome beauty depict one writing these scripts, tandem, patient, and Pitts caught in the mix. Damn, leave it to Beaver, like Uncle Sam. I'm thinking I need her. Love on demand, examine the eager. Slow to the stance, still moving the meter. I also want to stress, um, just my teachings as authenticity and vulnerability, raw honesty. I share these experiences with pain, betrayal, exhaustion, mental health, addiction, um, even sexual abuse, things that are hard for normal people to talk about. Relatability, though. In the vulnerability, it creates a sense of shared experience, making me more relatable because your individual experience and what you take from something that I created and felt that was completely different. So transforming pain into creative expression, the cathartic lyrics, my words process and express inner turmoil, connecting with others who have faced similar hardships. It's a powerful tool, creative expression, because a means to connect with others now facilitates the healing. If I was to identify with archetypes, I would probably be somewhere between the wounded healer and the fool. My personal experiences, struggle inform my ability to help others. And empowerment, I see my scars as doorways through which light enters, guiding others through their struggles. And in the thoughts of building community and core values, the shared experience, vulnerability, it fosters a supportive community. Core values would be empathy, authenticity, resilience, spiritual connection, the guidance, the center, the healing journey. The power of words and spirituality. Language is a healing tool, and I believe that words seed change and plant hope. Spiritual exploration would show my work encourages others to explore their own inner worlds as a path to healing. I am every bit of a walking contradiction. I walk in the way of someone who wants to be perfect and sees and can produce perfect in others' eyes, that is. But if I was to put my foot in my mouth for every word that I backfooted on, I wouldn't be able to say another word, I'll say that. Individual empowerment and resilience, overcoming adversity, ambition and perspectives, and introspection and self-discovery, exploring internal conflicts, self-resilience and personal growth. Defiance against negativity would be confronting doubts, fears, and societal expectations head in. Spiritual growth and social commentary, touching on pain, healing, and broader societal critiques. My vision is personal growth, the struggles as a creative fuel, transforming and alchemizing those challenges into art. Authenticity and vulnerability. Let's share a world full of raw emotions and experiences where not a single one is deprived of their light that it deserves. So one of the first things to understand is, if you hear me talking, sometimes, as I notice from other people, actions tend to show the the underneath of themselves. Usually, when people give advice to you, it's based off of advice they're trying to give themselves, subconsciously. But I realize that with my music, as much as I love my fans so much, because if it wasn't for them, I would never have ended up seeing this. Um, I realized, looking back and listening to some of my songs, it was like even through my worst nights when I was in these terrors and so drugged up, I could hardly focus. So I was basically just streamlining consciousness into these freestyle raps, which, sometimes sounded ridiculous and sometimes some really beautiful things, were in between that. I guess it's kind of like scripture. There's some things that seem ridiculous, but when you really look at it from a spiritual level, you can understand it for yourself in different ways. So, it starts in seeing the beauty in everything. When you start to mirror your words and your actions back at yourself, you start to see that the world is a reflection of that. So even when you meet people that are mad, they're reflecting different aspects of you even, you know. So in that sense, when you start to see things like that, you're going to have days where you doubt yourself. It's part of the human nature, a part of our soul's experience. These things are not to be held as separate or lower level experiences compared to the happy and joy or love. You know, these are just as crucial and just as they're invaluable. So even I deal with this. So this is what I'm saying. Don't ever take anything I say as concrete. You can take what applies. You can, use it as water for your garden. I am the water bearer. I'm here for that. But don't take anything I say, you know, too official, because every experience is subjective. If you notice in religion, there's many different gods. So, I mean, that goes off of each person's experience with that nature, that divine being or entity, you want to call it. So, what I'm saying is even I still to this day is confident and is intellectual and, you know, mystic I may sound sometimes. I baffle myself, but I still sit here on days doubting my potential or questioning if I've done enough or making this unnecessary list of to do, before the day's up. And nothing is to be forced because nothing to be forced is divine, you know? The natural current of things is what pulls you into your natural self. So appreciating those moments, because those hardships, even though they seem like such terrible, terrible things, they end up as these barriers that we broke through every night that we thought we couldn't, and they become these trophies, hidden behind this glass case we can look back on, and that is beautiful in its sense. The strength in you that you get to remind yourself of only because you went down to that depth of despair and questioning. And the deepest questions, the darkest questions reveal the brightest. That is it. It reveals the brightest, the enlightened you. So don't be too hard on yourself. As I speak back, trying to reassure myself of that indefinite unknowing, So you know, but you also know you're going to question it. So don't beat yourself up for one end of the conversation. Embrace, tune in, and listen to both sides. And then create the peak of that pyramid, the divinity, the trinity, completeness. Be kind, be blessed, be you. Carnage one and only, on becoming the one and all. Fear. What is it? Talk about it. Tell me. I know there's a lot. And I know you just want to protect me. I need you. Dear fear. I know life has been difficult. We have been blessed with divine beauty, sight of the potential here, but we have faced numerous situations that blessings as they may be have rightfully affected us. We were just a kid. You were just a child. And it's okay. Who's to say who deserves anything? Things just happen. And that is part of life. I acknowledge you. And I give you full permission to let it out, to bear it all before me, before the world, because you deserve to be heard. And you don't have to, you can be afraid, but you don't have to, you can come out. You can come back out. We'll face this world together. I'm thankful for you. If it wasn't for you, you're my intuition. You're not just my fear. You're that beautiful part of me that brings that question. I can't. We have to address this. You have to talk about it, or you have to work with me, or just understand that I acknowledge you, that I accept you, and I love you. I'm letting go. I'm letting go of my doubts. I'm letting go of that fear that I can't keep up. I'm letting go of the doubts of my worthiness. I'm letting go of the doubts of if my Father's coming back for me. And I'm forgiving all of that. I'm forgiving my mother. I'm forgiving myself for the things that I said. And I'm allowing myself to feel this pain and let it pass. It's okay. What happened? It's not my fault. It's not your fault. We go through these things to learn. Most don't care about mental health. Most don't care until we've killed ourselves. And not fair, you need help. I'm right here and I will not go on. Fear, all these things that enter the ear. Yes, Atmos, in this, enter. Fear, intervene, and in these things that I critique and what I probably prescribe this. I am the scribe to my life. I'm finally taking authority over mind. I dig these. A diamond I am. I shine through the darkest and I strike like lightning. I'm like Edison or Benjamin out in the middle of the storm. I hold the key, hoping that one, if not, then be nice once, if not twice. This one strikes. Fuck, I forgive you. I know. Life hasn't really been forgetful. It's been difficult and we have been blessed with beautiful, divine inner sight, but intellect in neglect from what we had in our house. Just accept, pay respect. Faced numerous problems and neurological consequences of these situations. Today I want to speak to those who feel overwhelmed by complexities of legal and societal systems that govern our lives. Systems that often feel opaque, intimidating, and designed to keep us compliant rather than free. But let me tell you this. True power lies within knowledge and understanding the rules of the game. The language they use and the structures they build. When you learn the meaning behind the words, what means to be person, the difference between legal and lawful, the significance of your name, you begin to see the system for what it really is. You are not just a name in capital letters, you on a piece of paper. You are a living, breathing human being with inalienable rights. Recognizing this is the first step towards reclaiming your sovereignty. Yes, the courts, the government, the financial institutions, they may seem like giants, but giants have weaknesses. They rely on consent, on silence, on ignorance. When you refuse to accept terms blindly, when you demand clarity, when you challenge the validity of the contracts and the authority of those who claim power over you, you disrupt their control. It is not about confrontation. It is about clarity, about asking the right questions. The right questions. Who are you? What authority do you have? What laws apply? Did I agree to this? Was there harm done? These questions are your shield and your sword. This journey is not easy. There will be confusion, resistance, and moments when the system seems to push back hard. But remember the universe maxims. Do not harm. Respect others and act with integrity. Stand firm in your truth without ill will or frivolity. You have the right to protect your assets, to question charges, to seek justice that is truly just. Use conditional acceptance, request proof, and do not be afraid to navigate the legal waters with knowledge and confidence. This is more than a legal strategy. It is a mindset shift, a paradigm shift that awakens you to your true status as a free individual, not a mere legal fiction. So I urge you, educate yourself, study the law, understand language, learn the history, empower yourself with this knowledge, and use it wisely to protect your freedom and dignity. Stand tall, speak clearly, act wisely. The path to sovereignty is yours to walk. A journey of awakening and understanding the power that lies within each of us. A journey that challenges us to question, to learn, and ultimately reclaim our natural rights and freedoms. We live in a world where systems surround us, often seem designed to control, to limit, and to suppress. But remember this, knowledge is the spark that lights the path to liberation. When we educate ourselves about structures of power, the laws, the jurisdictions, and the systems of control, we begin to see chains for what they are. The story of those who dared to question, who have uncovered hidden truths, is not a tale of resistance. It is a testament to the courage of human spirit. They remind us that it is not enough to accept the status quo. We must challenge it. We must understand it deeply. Imagine a world where you hold the keys to your own destiny, where you understand the difference between the person they say you are and the living, breathing individual you truly are, where we recognize the importance of protecting your assets, your rights, and your dignity through knowledge. Empower yourself with tools of understanding. Most importantly, never forget the true power that comes from within, the power to think, to choose, and to act in alignment with your highest values.